Chapter 9. Wealth is what you don't see. Money has many ironies, but one of the most important is this. Wealth is what you don't see. When the author worked as a valet in Los Angeles in the mid-2000s, he was surrounded by people driving Ferraris, Porsches, and other luxury cars. At first glance, you might assume these drivers were rich, that they had made it in life, that their cars were a symbol of success. But as the author got to know many of these people, he realized something surprising. A lot of them were far from wealthy. Many were average earners who spent a significant portion of their income on cars, leaving little left over for savings or investments. One day, the author recalls seeing a familiar customer named Roger, who usually pulled up in a Porsche. But one day Roger arrived in an old Honda. Curious, the author asked what happened to the Porsche. Roger casually explained that it had been repossessed after he defaulted on his loan. He didn't show shame or embarrassment. To him, it was just another event in life. This story highlights something crucial. Someone driving a $100,000 car may look wealthy, but all we actually know is that they have $100,000 less than they did before buying the car, or worse, they may have gone $100,000 into debt. That's all the visible signal tells us. Yet humans are wired to judge wealth by what we can see, because we have no access to someone's bank account, retirement portfolio, or investments. Modern society amplifies this problem. Instagram photos, social media, and popular culture put outward displays of wealth on a pedestal. We admire the expensive car, the designer bag, the big house. But real wealth is the money not spent. Wealth is the savings you haven't touched yet, the investments quietly compounding, the financial flexibility that buys you freedom and security. The author shares a telling example from pop culture, singer Rihanna, who nearly went bankrupt at one point despite her enormous income. Her financial advisor famously told her, "Was it really necessary to tell you that if you spend money on things, you will end up with the things and not the money?" Investor Bill Mann captures this idea beautifully. There is no faster way to feel rich than to spend lots of money on really nice things. But the way to be rich is to spend money you have, and to not spend money you don't have. In short, it's not just that spending doesn't build wealth, it often destroys it. The chapter also draws a crucial distinction between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich is about your current income. It's what people can see. But being wealthy is about what's hidden beneath the surface, your savings, investments, and the financial reserves that allow you to weather storms and seize opportunities. Even among visibly rich people, true wealth is often obscured. We might admire their homes, cars, or vacations, but we don't see the size of their mortgage, their credit card debt, or whether they've sacrificed retirement savings to maintain appearances. The author uses a useful analogy from health and fitness. Losing weight is notoriously hard, even among those who exercise vigorously. Research shows that people often overestimate how many calories they've burned and reward themselves afterward with big meals, undoing their progress. Wealth works the same way. It requires restraint and discipline. It's about saying no to spending now so you can say yes to freedom later. One of the big dangers the author points out is that because wealth is invisible, it's hard to imitate. We learn by copying others, but we can't copy what we can't see. This is why many people mistakenly try to copy the spending patterns of the rich they admire, when in reality it's the hidden behaviors like saving and investing that create lasting wealth. A powerful example is Ronald Read, a Vermont janitor and gas station attendant who quietly amassed an $8 million fortune. When he died, people were stunned. He wasn't flashy, he didn't show off, and nobody thought of him as wealthy. But every penny of his wealth was built through quiet, steady saving and investing, the kind of invisible habits that rarely make headlines or Instagram posts. The chapter closes with a reflection on the world we live in. It's full of people who look modest but are wealthy, and people who look rich but live on the edge of insolvency. This matters because if we set our financial goals based on appearances, we risk chasing the wrong things. True wealth comes from patience, discipline, and understanding that it's not what you flaunt, but what you quietly build that matters. Key takeaway: wealth is not about what you buy or show off. It's about what you keep. Spending money to signal success often erodes the very wealth you hope to display. Real wealth is invisible, hidden in savings, investments, and financial flexibility. If you want to build true wealth, focus on what you don't spend,